All right, Stephanie with the patient story. And Bobby, thank you so much for sitting with us through all this, describing everything that you've gone through, including just now the clinical trial experience, which I'm learning a lot about. This is probably my favorite sort of section, if you will, just because I want it to be open-ended. It's about what's personal to you. We're such humans when we go through, this experience, and I think we learn a lot. But what we learn is very different. And so I just wanted to start with, I'm going to pull up a picture just because you've mentioned her so much, your wife. Support is incredibly critical, and not everyone is lucky to have enough of it. But we're so happy when people like you share stories of great support. What did you find was the most important kind of support you got through diagnosis and treatment?
Well, naturally, my family. I actually had a brother that had gone through radiation and chemotherapy a few years before I did. He was there to offer some advice. He actually had his, that was my bell ringing day. But he actually offered some advice. People from the church who had gone through. Um, uh, my family was incredible. The support they gave me. My work was, I can't thank them enough. Dr. Don Coker, who's superintendent of schools for Washita Parish, who called me in his office and told me, he said, whatever we need to do, we're there for you. Just the support group, not only at home, but at work, where I spend, every day, it seems like, was just incredible. And I'm just so blessed with that. My wonderful wife, who just stood by me the whole time, made me take my pills, made me get my appointments on time. Just an incredible woman. I'm just so blessed to have her.
Oh, I love that. I could hear you talk about about that for a little bit of time. And I know another special moment for you. And speaking of family, or the different marathons and the experiences. So I'll pull up a picture of that. But how was it? I know your children, you said they were out of the house by the time you were diagnosed, and so adult children, but how was the relationship with them through this?
Well, they've always known Dad to be a pretty strong guy. And I got that from my dad. He was a World War II veteran. And, he basically told me, he says, son, you just don't give up. You got to keep trying. And, I guess, they're used to seeing Dad being strong. And, they just were there for me. My daughter's right outside of Nashville. My son's in Brooklyn. But always knew the right time to call. Hey Dad, how you doing? You feeling okay? We love you. Just hang in there and keep going. And they were there for me. The picture that's up on the screen now. We actually did the half marathon in a 1 mile race. In April, I finished my treatments on March 3rd, 2017. I'm trying to remember the exact date of the half marathon. You may have it there, but
Yeah,
it's at the end of April 2000.
April 29th. Yep.
Yeah. So about 7 weeks after I finished my last treatment, we returned where it all started. And this time I had all three of us ran. So we had a great time that day. Spent time with them. I have two grandchildren from my daughter, and so we got to spend some time with them there in Murfreesboro. And I will say this: I do need to give a shout out to Rock and Roll Marathon Series. They've just treated me so great. One of the videos I've sent to you from Ann Westling has we have become friends, and we stay in touch. from 2016 till now. So
Wow.
very blessed to have her as a friend. And um, every time I see her, I've run 3 marathons since I was diagnosed, and I've got to see her at 2 of those 3. So just a great person and very encouraging. So
Yeah.
uh,
Sounds like such deep bonds and relationships, both with people you know, had in your life before and ones you met. And I think that can be one of those silver linings in an experience like this. Bobby, one of my last questions to you is just, you had been so upfront about how that cocktail of the, you know, anti-nausea medicines and medications, what that had done to you. And I think medical treatment and then mental health, you know, we think about the physical stuff, but the mental health is just so important. Um, what what would you like to say to people about tending to mental health? I know for you, it sounds like you made a decision to maybe suffer physical pain as opposed to having to deal with that again. But yeah, what would you like to tell people about that?
well, I, I do need to say that I'm very much faith based. I have a very strong belief um, that that peace that I got during this whole time, um, I believe was through my faith, through my faith in God. Um, my beliefs. Um, it that part is really what got me through it. It's all well and good to have this huge support group around you, but you know, you still got to do. This is still something you've got to do, and you have to get through it. And you know, I don't know what I would have done had I not had that to lean on.
Yeah.
And so I'm just, you know, you know, it's it's just it's hard for me to describe how somebody. I've always told people this. I have a blessing and a curse. I have a curse because I got cancer. I have a cancer that's supposedly incurable. I do believe that I have been cured. I don't believe it's ever going to come back. And I can't tell you the blessings that I have received that I would not have received had I never been diagnosed with cancer. And I know that's probably the weirdest, oddest thing that anybody would say. But from my shoes, I don't think I would change anything what
Yeah.
happened. Um, it has it has brought me closer, our family closer together. It has certainly, helped me from a faith perspective. And I just, so many people that I have met that I would have never met.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't think I would change anything.
You
And I
know,
know that's probably an odd thing to say,
not so odd.
but again, there's a lot of bad memories.
Yeah.
You know, laying in a hospital bed, losing your hair, um, having people, I had people tell me that, oh, you don't look bad, bald headed, and I would look in the mirror and I would say, I'm a strange looking person. And I figured it out one day why I looked so strange because my eyebrows had fallen out.
That's right. Yeah.
And even though my head has a good shape to it, and I probably didn't look bad bald headed, the weird person staring back in the mirror with no eyebrows looked alien. But, you know, I'm back to normal.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just, I just have to give God praises for letting me be here on the anniversary of my first day of chemotherapy, which was 4 years ago tomorrow.
Wow, I didn't even I didn't even put two and two together. That's incredible. First of all, thank you for sharing so much. And by the way, not so odd at all. I know exactly what you mean by that. it's a trauma we don't wish on anyone, but I just, it resonates with me personally, what you said. I feel like I woke up a lot in life following
Right.
my own diagnosis. And God, I'm so glad you had your faith, your family, new friends to bring you through all this. And most of all, I'm just really appreciative, Bobby, of all this time that you've given us to share an incredible story, one that I think will inspire so many people. You were very straightforward, but it's a very hopeful story. Is there any last message? I think in particular, this might sound a little odd now, but to men about, talking about experiences like this and sharing, because I do find that in the many people I've spoken with in depth, there are more women who are willing to, talk about their experiences and share their stories. You've just done such an amazing job. I just wonder if you have a message for other men out there about this.
Well, I mean, for me, um, to be able to share this, I think that is part of the ministry that I have by actually getting these. Um, to be able to speak to other people and to let them know that, hey, there is hope on the other side. Um, for other guys, I guess for me to just say, you know, you just have to be open and honest about what you're going through, and not try to be a macho man kind of deal about it. Um, I remember that when I was in the hospital um, during my first treatment, I would see other patients walk in the hall. Most of them were men, and they had already lost their hair, and they would sort of look at me sort of odd, and I'm like, "Why are you looking at me odd?" And finally, I asked one of them, and they were like, "Well, you haven't lost your hair yet." So it was like I hadn't quite got that badge of courage through the hair loss. But when I went back for my second treatment, I had it. So I was part of the fraternity.
Yeah.
So just to say, I always believe there are things that happen in life for a reason, good or bad. And you just have to tell other people, what you're experiencing, and because you never know who you're going to help.
Right.
You never know who's looking at you.
Absolutely. Well, Bobby, again, thank you so much. I have no doubt your story will be incredibly helpful to so many people. And Bobby's story will be in full here, but also at thepatientstory.com. So, Bobby, again, happy holidays, and hope we can talk to you again soon, because I think you have such incredible things to share.
Sure. Thank you. Stephanie, I appreciate your time so much and allowing me to share this with other people. My hopes are that it will be helpful for others, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.